What's winery supposed to do?
Oh, no.
It's supposed to do this fall?
Well,
It's not it.
I can't remember now. Those, the grapes look like they've come in really well, but I haven't really paid that much more attention to them.
Yes. Yeah, what do you have? You have
Oh, yeah.
I do not.
I got that thing running around there. Ooh, Christmas.
Don't you run off already?
Hey, Mike.
No.
You were saying before the meeting, or before the meeting, that I'm gonna make a small speech, open everything up, and then I'm gonna turn it to the public to start speaking. If they ask a question, you know, answer, that's fine, I'm not shutting off, but I don't want all board members speaking in the meeting. That work?
Fine.
I forget to say something you don't like, then you can speak up and say so, but I'm gonna try and explain the best I can, okay?
Okay.
I'm just making sure all the board members are all in this together. All right. All right.
Stuff right there. Pink corn, if that means it.
John, how you doing?
Oh, I need to run the elevator. Got the wings.
That's good for you, so. Hey,
Yes.
you want to speak in the beginning of the whole?
They planted them. They was
I
planting
really don't
corn.
want you to, because I want to make a small 4-minute speech.
And then
Explain what's
just
going on
she
here.
had some beans.
Then I'm open up to the public to come up and if they have questions.
Must've been last
Yeah, if you got a question, then you can, if they got a question, you can answer it. I won't shut it off.
Got some beans.
Yeah. Work?
You can probably the
I'll
first
talk to
one
all the board members, so.
in this area.
I'll just start.
He tries to be the first to plant too. so.
And then the public come and start commenting, and we'll go from there.
Corn
If you see something you don't like, you can
Thursday. I
mention
think.
or let me know about it. We'll try to get it done as best we
It
can.
was 35.
Okay.
Gee, Christmas. Gave him half
Down
hour.
in the basement in this chair.
There's some other stuff.
You used to lower chairs. You're short of money. I'm sure that's
I guess Ramsey's over there cut beans today. The first load they took in was 13.
Okay, 5 more minutes.
The second load they took in was 19, so they shut down.
Indoors are dry, huh?
Yeah.
This
It's easier to hide that 19% beans when you got a bunch of nested on. Can't blend in that.
This is a good idea. Well, I thought it was easy to do. If you can't remember.
Get it on sandwich.
I'll see if I can't scan it.
Oh, that's how it was going 3 weeks ago.
No crowd on last time.
We'll chop it here.
Same crowd last time.
Oh, I figured
Last month.
1st October.
Whatever, go on, just through.
Them guys from Arthur. She finally. They can do a half day what we used to do. 2 days. last year.
So you just sit there and watch them? Like, my boy, that's the weed out with.
You just got it.
Shoot, I think last year, from the time they pulled in, that's kind of getting everything set up, unhooked.
We need to get on.
They were leaving
Try
in
to find
less
out
than
when our
4 hours,
begin because
some 4 hours back or something.
there's no license. Tell you what, we used to
It didn't take them long.
slip in.
That's in line.
It didn't take them long at all. As he tracked around, I stopped.
You know, can't even hold it. We got me ready for
It looks like about 12.
but you know.
I said, he's working, so.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do that. Yeah, we'll do.
Nobody around that side of the county's getting in no big hurry.
She's watching.
What was the big leak over there the other day?
Try to shut.
Oh, what was that? Hydrogen gas. It was hydrogen.
Was it a truck off of the interstate?
It'd been leaking for, I'm finding out it'd been leaking for a couple hours before they ever called in. Yeah, the guy that had the truck, he didn't call in. Another guy pulled in and saw it
I
leaking.
didn't know it was a lot.
Leaking down or leaking up?
Leaking up.
That's better than down.
We know getting
Maybe.
we know you talked about it.
But McDonald's is right across the street. Dairy Queen's
Other
next
than
door.
that, had the daughters leaving on the that left about, it was before BB Park and that EMT flying back. And I get back to the nursing home, I said, yeah, we may be having to hold evacuees from other nursing homes. I'm like, I just left Casey. There was nothing going on.
Well, it was all in a panic, but the wind was taking it kind of east. So, I mean,
Well, just add some water to it, that becomes oxygen there.
yeah, they called in
I told her about
hazmat out of Charleston. Hazmat team take care of this.
write it down.
Probably pop off valve.
Yeah, I think that's all it was, pop off valve. I rolled out there, saw what it was. I don't-
Is there a fire at Newsengate or TGM after that?
Malden's trucking right there by Herky's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there by Herky's.
So it wasn't actually Perkins.
Last Friday, he done, this guy took a photo, hay down the highway, just east of Mount Rose, coming on the highway from the track, didn't know it,
So what was it?
that's a load of hay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. It was the Grand Fire Department. It was Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Easily.
I got called,
Yeah.
See that Malden fire. Casey was there. We called Green up Parkinsville. It was a total loss. I mean, they had a semi and a low boy in there. They just bought a month ago. 2 dump trucks, pickup and trailer. And home equipment. No yards. So, a few zero turns. I don't know how many weed eaters. Other pickups is a mess. All the gates from the popcorn festival they put around the concert area,
Yeah.
all the metal gates, it was all, they just got them stacking in the building, back in the building, they were toast. Toast.
Rusted bed watching the
250 gallon totes. They
time.
use
Right
wood.
about right after.
Oh, they burn well then.
Yeah, they got
Well, burn.
Say
they
it right
had
now.
full totes stacked in there for winter.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Blake,
Yes.
Rainbird,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Keppel,
Yes.
Wente.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, this evening, we are continuing the hearing from August 11th on special service areas 4 and 5. I'd like to make a small opening comment, and then after that, if anybody's got any comments or questions, I would like to ask them to go over to the podium and the microphone, and we'll do one standing line up in there and we'll do one question at a time, so we'll try to keep the confusion down as much as we can, okay? Okay, first reason for this, creating an ambulance tax is, well, green up the taxpayers are paying a tax on the east side of the county. Special service area number 1, 2, and 3, which is central part of the county, includes Toledo and Jewett, have been paying some tax for years. Neoga Township has been paying tax for years. And Spring Point, yes, Neoga Township has been taxed, and Neoga City has been taxed for several years. I don't know how many years. But Spring Point has not been paying a tax for an ambulance. So, now, the next thing is, 4 or 5 years ago, the state of Illinois started regulating how to run an ambulance. Anytime you get the state involved, they make changes, which may be good or bad, but it seemed like the volunteers we're using were not qualified or not good enough, so by doing more regulations, it costs more to run an ambulance. So that's why most ambulances in the state of Illinois are struggling, have been for the last couple of years. That's pretty well the general consensus of everything. So tonight, we're wanting to set the max rate at 40 cents. Special service area number 4, which is the area east of Montrose Blacktop, will be covered by Toledo. And that rate will be the same as what special service area number 1, 2, and 3 is. And that rate right now is 32 cents. So it will probably run the same rate as 1, 2, and 3, I assume. A special service area number 5 is Spring Point, west of the Montrose Blacktop. And it will be covered by the Neoga ambulance service. And right now, the Neoga ambulance is about 12 cents at the rate, it's 12 cents. So I assumed Neoga and special service area number 5, I hope we will keep about the same rate. So they should start out somewhere in that area. And if they need more money, then Neoga increase along with special service number 5 should also increase. That's the county board members have all suggested that's what they will try to do. Can't hold it to it, but that will be the plan, is to keep them, Neoga and special service number 5 at the same tax rate. So that's our plan. So, at this time, anybody would like to make a comment or ask questions? I asked them to get up in front of the, and ask questions, so we will try to answer your question. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I appreciate your time. And my name is Darren Daters. I am a landowner in Special Service Area number 5. I'm up here to speak tonight in opposition of this tax. And I'll list off a few bullet points. Number 1, no one in Special Service Area number 5 is asking for any advanced ambulance coverage. Number 2, alternatives to this tax exist, and alternatives to Neoga ambulance exist. The taxes proposed will not improve response times or levels of care to Service Area number 5. And additionally, we've all felt this pain. Taxes in Cumberland County have went up exponentially. And that's of no cause of anybody in this room, but we've seen no improvement in our roads, nothing. And now you're asking us to bear another tax. Additionally, many counties around us, such as Effingham, Shelby, Fayette, all use a private ambulance service. They pay 0 tax for ambulance. It's billed on a per call basis. And I can go into numbers. Jasper County, their tax rate and what they charge. And I have the Effingham County ambulance ordinance here if anybody would like to see it. But currently, we have a private ambulance that if calling the 7-digit number, will respond from Effingham and cover special service area number 5. So in closing, the Yoga ambulance has its own taxing body, which they have truth in taxation rules, as Mr. Wayne Daters pointed out in the last meeting. But if they can't squeeze their taxpayers for more, then where do you think they're gonna come? They're gonna go from there to special service area number 5 and increase our taxes to make up for the shortfall. So it's for that reason we oppose any tax in special service area number 5. And additionally, to use your words, Mr. Chairman, there's no guarantee. You said earlier that, you know, you're gonna start at this rate, but it could be at 0.4 in 2027. So there's no guarantee. And we tried to get a cap lowered, but I was told, or I heard from some certain elected official, it would take too much work. This is just, I oppose this tax in every level, on every level. It makes no sense. And there's alternatives out there. And I think there's plenty that if the folks in Yoga and Greenup and Toledo look, they could do away with their heavy tax burden and bring in a private ambulance at $0 and get just as good a coverage. Thank you.
Darren, I disagree with you. We tried to get an ambulance to come in and cover the Toledo ambulance service, which is the center part of the county, just the Toledo area. It cost us $500,000 to come in and do that. I realize Effingham comes in and they do not get paid anything. They make it on all their runs, but they've got a hospital, they've got a lot of runs. This Cumberland County has a lot less runs than Effingham County. Coles County does the same. They've got a lot of runs. They got a hospital and everything else. That works in Coles County. It works in Effingham County.
Correct.
It will not work in Cumberland County.
Well, and I'm to understand that the one ambulance service that you reached out to was Lakeside, correct? Is that the one that told you $500,000?
I don't know.
They're defunct now, so
They were cheaper than that.
cheaper, okay. Well, and you know, I think that there's some value here in reevaluating everything. But the one thing that I take actually particular offense to is that, yeah, we may not have been paying this tax for 20 years like the other service areas, but why are we coming in at 0.4? And none of them, nobody's talking about raising their taxes or raising their amount. Why are you starting us off so high?
It won't be started at 0.4, it'll be started at 0.1.
Sir, I understand that. I think you're missing my point. It'll be 0.4 sometime.
It's up to the board.
As long
I
as,
understand that, but again, if this board
I know.
turns over, as it does, a new board member, Tim in your spot or Floyd in your spot, could propose, let's take it to 0.4.
Let me tell you a little history though, special service area number 1, 2, and 3. A couple years ago, special service area number 3 was 8 cents, or 8 cents. And special service number 1 and 2, which is the city of Toledo and Jewett, was at 0.22. Today, they're both at 32 cents. So they've increased their taxes considerably. So
Which goes to my point. You see what I'm saying? You start off at a 0.12, as you say, but you're gonna go right to 0.4. And that's the rub.
But the thing is, you need more than a 0.12. Well,
Or we need to evaluate, if this model isn't working for us anymore, then we need to abandon it. We need to
well,
look at
Greenup
something
just
different.
started an ambulance service from their fire department with an ambulance. You know what their rate is? They're real close to 40 cents.
Well, I was told by someone that knows, Greenup Fire Protection District has a $1.2 million budget to run their ambulance. Now, I think that is absolutely asinine, if you ask me. If there's $1.2 million worth of business to be had, I'm pretty sure RuleNet, Avid EMS, or someone like that would come in here and take it. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
I mean, if we're paying it, at some point, they're gonna make it.
Why didn't Greenup go that route?
I don't know. And that's why I say, I think we need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, county-wide. I'm telling you, Special Service 5 is not gonna pay the tax. We're gonna have a petition and we're gonna get it done. We're mobilized, we're angry. It's not just me, I'm pretty sure I speak for everybody in this room. I think, you know, everybody in the county needs to take a long, hard look. I firmly believe that.
Well, I
Because
like,
as Mr. Black said earlier in the previous meeting, Mr. Baker, you guys have challenges standing up staff. You have challenges acquiring new equipment. You cannot, as a public ambulance, charge the special service fee or a service fee that a private ambulance could. So if there's a better model out there that's cheaper for the taxpayers, why aren't we looking at that?
Well, I can tell you, if a private service comes in, the county can't afford to pay them for the whole county. So your taxes are gonna go a lot higher than 40 cents.
But you know what? I would be okay with me paying the same rate as 1, 2, 3, and everybody else, instead of being charged 0.4 at the beginning when everybody else is getting by at 0.2.
Nobody's paying a point.
Well, whatever the case is, it's certainly less than.
Well, 40 is the max.
Correct.
And if you're in 5, you would be taxed the same as Neoga.
For
So,
now. For now.
No guarantee, I realize that, but, they're,
I mean, we asked to even have it lowered to a 0.2 at the last meeting, but that was gonna take too much work. Too much notice, too much this, too much that. And to be quite honest, as an elected official, I'm pretty sure you guys have a fiduciary responsibility to our tax dollars, correct?
yeah, but if we done that, we just spent they just spent probably $3,000 or $4,000 more of your tax dollars just to mail all the stuff out again and print it all.
But that's going out to everybody in the whole county, not special service law.
no, that would go to special service 5, because
That'd
that's
go to-
20 cents.
But I'm saying that burden of $3,000 or $4,000 would come out of everybody's tax dollars.
Right, that's right.
Well, yeah. So you want the other people to pay to give you another notice to make yours cheaper.
Well, I don't know why ours is higher than everybody else. It makes no sense.
Well, it's not gonna be higher than everybody else.
Ain't hard.
Yours is not higher than anybody else's.
It
I
might
think
be,
y'all are missing the point. I know
Yours
yours
won't
won't
be
be
higher
at
than
0.2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
What was
they say about 0.12,
it? 0.12, okay.
that's very,
But what is my guarantee that in 2026, 2027, 2028, what is my guarantee that it's not gonna go to 0.4? Let's say something catastrophic happens in Neoga and Mr. Baker and the citizens of Neoga need additional cash. Well, they'll take their levy to 0.499, just under truth and taxation, come to special service area 5 and say, run them through the roof. And there's nothing that we can do to stop
you might.
that.
be
Nothing,
right. You
boy,
might be right.
nothing. Nothing.
That's a chance we maybe have to take.
But that's a lot of, I've heard a lot of, there's a chance this, or I'm not sure of that. And that's the other thing too, you know, there's a lot of, "Ooh, I don't know," or it just, I oppose this tax for a multitude of different
The
reasons.
point is, Green's gonna be paying 40 cents, and Toledo will be getting close to 40 cents pretty quick, but the numbers are just there, they just need the money.
Well,
So, Neoga's been doing a pretty good job keeping their tax down to 12 cents for these years.
can I get a show of hands for anybody that would be willing to pay any ambulance tax? Donna, Mr. Baker.
But you're gonna have to pay some, how are you gonna support your ambulance if you don't pay tax? By the run, do it by the run? Every ambulance charges
The
like,
only time Neoga's gonna come to my house is if somebody calls 911. If I need an ambulance, I can dial a 7-digit number and get a private one out of it. At zero cost to me annually.
no, you cannot. I talked to Rural Med, the SSA, they will come out into Cumberland County if you call them on their phone.
On their
But they're
7-digit.
not gonna guarantee you very good service. They'll take care of Effingham County first.
I don't get good service out of Neoga now.
Well, that's not good. I didn't know that. I don't know. That's
How
the
many
comment
times
I
have you
can't.
called?
I don't know.
There's been numerous times where an ambulance takes minutes to show up, several minutes. And look, again, this is focused on the tax. Well, I'm not gonna get into the response times, okay? I diametrically oppose this tax for numerous reasons. There's several that I've listed. I've given you my indictment of it, and I think everybody agrees.
Okay, thank you.
So if we persist in this, expect a petition, and I'll get with you. We'll figure out what we need to do, what sort of language needs to be on it. But
Mhm.
I really feel like, you know, I've heard in several of these sessions, we've been paying this tax for years. You guys need to get on board. But, so now I've got to take a penalty because you guys have paid this tax. I don't see it. And I don't see the nomenclature behind it or how we get it. Because Neoga is short money, we've got to pay it now. And I have no oversight over that. A special service area board that takes their recommendation and drags it to this board. There's no oversight for my tax dollars. That's why I oppose it.
All right, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Steve. Next person?
So, I'm Alan Baker. If the advisor knows me, I want to address a couple things. I'm glad that you're all motivated for this, and that's fine. Just kind of remember why you're getting those petitions. Just be truthful when you say to people, here's why I want you to sign. I've talked to Joan Rural Med as well. She says, we're not taking over that territory. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Effingham is a priority for us. There are certain rules and regulations in there. She says, you dial 911, if Neoga is still covering it and we are invited in for a mutual aid, we'll be there. If you dial a 11-digit number, not a 7-digit number, it's 11-digit number.
Now you got that range, sorry.
It's okay. The 11-digit number. Here's what she said to me. This is just like your washing machine quits working. You call Sears. It's going to go on a list. Sears will tell you we'll be there somewhere between today and 14 days. Within less than 14 days. The same thing is going to happen for you when you dial that. This is just a business. It could be a half hour. It could be 4 hours. It could be 12 hours. It could be a long time. They call us on a regular basis to cover their territory. To take one of their people. Most of the time, Rural Med has 3 ambulances covering all of Effingham County. Effingham, T-Town, Montrose, Hebert, Watson, Edgewood, Allen. 3 ambulances. Normally, one of those is on a transfer. I give them 2 ambulances. He says, do we get 6 calls in 3 minutes sometimes? We sure do. We sure do. It happens a lot. He says, okay, we called you guys. We called Greenwood, we called Jasper County. We called them. Sometimes those calls just get stacked. Because sometimes somebody's having a stroke. Somebody else fell to the nursing home this morning and now it's 5 o'clock at night and we got some heavy. Maybe it's not quite as important. But if you believe that Rural Med is going to be there immediately, it's not going to happen. And I hope that none of you find that out the hard way. We started at 0.19 in 2005. We are down to 0.12. We had over $1 million in new EAB this last year. I don't want to raise the rate. That's my taxes that I'm paying. I don't want to raise that rate. We've been covering you for 20 years. We've been covering you for about 4 years. Some of that's been under the city of Neoga.
We've been fine or not? I've been fine.
You haven't had to call, have you?
Huh?
Have you had to call for an ambulance?
No.
I
I'm
know.
fine, my mom has.
I know people in here who have had to call.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell all of you, and I know some of you, I've got land. It's not fair. I get that. But I tell you that nobody in here is going to pay more than Rodney Williamson, Jeff Wall, Brett Williamson, Peter's Family Farm, Roger Wall.
The richest guys in the area or what?
They all have the most land.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, are they the richest? No.
I don't have the most land.
No. But all 5 of those have a lot of land. They all pay to us anytime we have a fundraiser. They're in them. Most of them come in, drop a $100 check in, something like that. They're dropping hands off before Christmas, they're dropping hands off before Easter. The other thing all 5 of those families have had are life and death calls with an ambulance. Every one of them.
Now, if this is going to go to 50, 49, or 51%, why aren't we having a vote at the Spring Point Township building for areas 4 and 5? We'll just go there and vote. I'm not putting all this talk.
I'm not involved in that.
Well, that's what we need to do, I think.
You said
That'd be the simplest way.
What do you mean by vote?
Whether I wanna raise my taxes or I don't wanna raise my taxes.
How many ambulances?
Put it on the ballot, you mean?
So why?
Yeah, put it on the ballot next week. I'm gonna put it on the ballot, like, no, 2 weeks. Everybody knows.
What time? We legally do that, but,
Hey, guys, if you wanna talk, you go up to the mic.
okay, very good.
There's not enough people to go around. To answer your question, there's not enough people to go around. Okay, when COVID came through, 75% of the paramedics and EMTs nationwide said, you know what, I'm done. 25% of us are taking care of it. There's not enough people to go around. There are ambulance services closing left and right now, but they don't have partial funds.
What's the guarantee that with this tax dollars that you won't close tomorrow? Because you can't find the staff
I've got the staff right now.
right now.
I'll have the staff tomorrow. I got staff the rest of the year. We've done this. We've done this through COVID. When other people struggle. We've done this.
What if they get better off for staff and leave?
They're all happy at the over right now.
That's what I like about the Cumberland County ambulance 300 working together. They're all local people. You hire a company, come in, they're not gonna be local people. Right? You think, Alan?
Yes, and if you were to go, honestly, if you were to go to a county service, which I think is a good idea, let's go to a county service.
Alan,
I would
recommend you make it.
If you want to come up here and talk, Mike, I'll answer when you talk on the microphone, okay?
What?
I said, if you want to come up and talk on the microphone, we'll talk then.
I thought the chairman gave those orders, not you.
Well, I gave them orders, Mike, but I guess they didn't hear me very good. Well, we got a couple people want to talk here. Okay.
Yep.
Anybody else? Alan, got any other comments?
Nope.
Next person.
Why do we have to have 51% in opposition? Why don't we have to have 51% in support? Why do we have to be the ones that look like the bad guys? Why don't you have to have 51% of the supporters sign a petition to raise our taxes?
I don't know.
That guy on the end can tell you.
Because of the state statute.
No, the other end.
Ryan,
So
Robin,
you have
any
to
comment
pass
on
the
that?
bill.
Is what state statute says.
State statute, that's all I know. I don't know.
And one other question, I know we don't want to talk about web response kind of things like that, but does Toledo ambulance respond to I-70 calls?
They're called. Lido?
It's
Mutual
a.
aid.
Yeah, mutual aid.
Mutual aid,
I'm
probably.
only asking because there was an accident recently on Interstate 70 in Woodbury Township. And there was 2 Greenup, 2 Clark County, and 1 rural bed.
We don't have a on-ramp, so Toledo never really hits it unless they're called to, just like the fire department.
Why can't they be called?
It's if they're needed.
They
That's-
could have called, we could have been out.
Yeah,
On medication?
it's just like the fire department. Just like the fire department. If Granite haulers for us, more than likely the hauler from Montrose, they have that on-ramp. We don't have an on-ramp.
Mr. Chairman, I think I know this answer, but I want to ask it for the benefit of the group. If we are successful in defeating this tax by petition, or you guys are so gracious dropping it tonight, that would be great. What continues to happen in Spring Point Township, Special Service Area 5, when we dial 911? Who's going to respond?
Well, I don't know if Neil will keep responding or not. They may for a while, but they could have the option of backing out and saying, well, if you don't want to support us, we are gonna, they will give you notice that we, at a certain date, we're gonna put.
I don't think they ever gave us notice that we were being covered, so. I mean,
Well, they've been covered for 40 years, and haven't you?
that I don't know.
I think you have.
That I don't
Been
know.
covered for 40 years, and unless they, not gonna be, I assume they will make some kind of announcement. I don't know.
I think I'm with this gentleman over here, though. I think this would have been better served as a referendum as opposed to this approach. It's a little disheartening.
Hello, I'm Doc here. Just want to set the record straight on a couple things. You know, you're saying about, we don't have to worry about staff walking off. Well, Toledo, you know, all the staff walked off the job, and we didn't have a Toledo ambulance for quite a while. You remember that, Floyd?
Well, yeah, if you don't pay them.
They'll all do that. You quit. That's why if you run out of money, Todd, and you listen to Yoga Ambulance.
It was not about out of money.
What was it about? I forgot.
Yeah, it was not about the money. So then, another thing is, you guys are kind of confusing Toledo as a government agency as an ambulance. They are a private company, no different than the FEN company. So let's get that straight. SS.
Not quite the same, not quite the same.
Oh, it is the same, because they have to bid for the job. They took bids whenever they applied for that job. And then whenever you had an outside source possibly coming in to bid on the job, you put such restrictions on them that they were not able to come in with a decent bid. I was there, I remember. And then, area 4 and 5, are you going to increase the representatives on the SSA board if you increase these areas?
Represent the secretary before
Are they going to be their own
we'll have one
separate
representative.
board, or are they going to be combined with the?
They're gonna be on the same board, I guess. One representative from special area number 4, and maybe 1 or 2 from special area number 5, I don't know. I assume, I'm not sure.
Because then they would be speaking to, area 5 would be the ones talking to the Yoga ambulance. So you're gonna have all the areas that have nothing to do with Neoga making a request.
It'll get complicated, it will that.
And then is Toledo, since they're adding territory, are they gonna add staff and an extra ambulance, or how are they gonna handle the extra territory? Because at one time, you guys were so concerned about time frame, you know, we're able to make this call, they can provide a service in 15 minutes and blah, blah, blah. Well, now that they're reaching out to further territory, are you guys still concerned about the time? Because it's gonna take a lot longer time to get to Montrose, east side of the highway. Are they gonna increase? And if they do increase, they're gonna be financially hurting again. So there's actually no gain in this.
Increase what?
Their staff.
Oh, their staff.
Their
No, they should have enough staff if they're one ambulance to cover it. They should. And if they got backed up from Yoga and also from Green, they can't. Yoga's been doing it now, so they get backed up from Yoga, I assume, from me.
But the whole thing is it's just literally a money grab. You guys know that area 1, 2, and 3 cannot financially fund themselves, so you're no different than like J.B. Pritzker. He can't fund Chicago, so he's going to charge downstate to pay for Chicago. Now you guys are doing the exact same thing. Toledo can't fund themselves, so you're going to make the rest of the county or Spring Point Township pay for their problems.
My name is Dan Daters. I own property in Spring Point Town. You keep saying it's 0.4, but I called the assessor's office and I figured out what this is going to raise my taxes every year. I'm not a big farmer. And I've lived out there for 50 years, and thank God I didn't need an ambulance. But my family's living out there. And if they don't need an ambulance for 20 or 30 years, what they pay in taxes, they can call Rural Med every day and come out and get it. And as far as that 0.4, there is something that our farm ground is going to get reassessed every year for the next few years or even longer. Even though you stay at 0.4, our taxes still get higher and higher and higher. And another thing I want to address, I ain't got nothing against the old ambulance or anything, but somebody's going to have to do something about these 911 calls. If you call in around Sigel, or Sigel Fire Department calls in for an ambulance, that 911 call goes clean to Christian County. And how long does that take them people to figure out which ambulance to call? I know a couple things. Neoga's response time was fairly quick, but they never got the call. It took longer to get the call than they had on response time. So I don't know how this 911 works or where ours goes or what, But I know out in our area, if we call signal fire, they get an ambulance and everything. Some of them calls go clean up to Christian County.
If I can, real quick, Joe, back me up on this. You were dispatch a while back, right? It depends on where you're at. Like, say, if I'm close to Casey, just like probably the grain bins right there west of Casey. If I call 911 there's a good shot I'm gonna hit Clark County. Am I right? It depends on your location of where you're at. It could ping off of a different tower.
Well, how do they figure the location? The location off the phone? That is called?
Yes, it should ping off of it on their screen, but it's hard. That's when they're trying to figure out exactly where you're at to send you to the right
I don't
county.
live too far from Sickle, and this is what I was called when they came, that 911 call I'm talking about, it went through to Christian County.
No, they probably couldn't really tell exactly where it was.
But
So,
as I'm saying, is 911 calls, when it takes longer for the 911 calls to figure out what ambulance to get a hold of, sometimes that's longer than the ambulance response itself.
That's a bad deal. Are you sure you weren't in Shelby? Were you in Shelby County when you called?
I didn't make the call, I'm talking about somebody else's call.
They were in Shelby County when you made the call.
Yes.
That's the reason you went there. Where,
Okay, let's just come
If
this
they
way.
would- if they
Let's
come
come
to
this
your
way, half a
house-
mile from that call was made,
yeah,
that would be Cumberland County.
if they would have called from Cumberland County, or your house, it's in Cumberland County, it would have went to Toledo here, or yeah, in here, Toledo 911, and they would have got a hold of Neoga, and they've been there, hopefully.
What I think the point he's trying to make is that we're only a mile from the county.
We're around county.
So 911 calls.
Real Ed can get to our house probably quicker than any.
I know that there's having a problem with just west of Toledo here, going to Effingham or Coles County.
Yes.
I live just 5 miles west of here, mine would go to Coles County. If I accidentally hit the emergency button,
Yes.
it would, Coles County, would answer. But I think 911's got a lot of that fixed. If there is areas like that, it probably needs to be reported to the 911 and then they can adjust it.
But I'm also saying that these farmers think they're getting taxed now, that might not raise, but your land assessment's gonna keep raising. And that makes your taxes still go higher. And what I figured out, what I was gonna pay for my farm, if, let's say I don't need an ambulance for 20 years, holy cow, I can about darn near, I'm glad I don't need one or never had to call one. But I could get real med out there many, many times for what I'm gonna be paying in taxes.
What do you pay tax for your Toledo Civil Fire Department, Dan? What do you pay?
I don't have my tax thing with me.
You pay 22 cents for your civil fire.
Yes.
So this, if we get, if it starts at 12, 13,
Well, see,
15.
that's another thing. Single fire department does real good. I pay Cumberland County taxes, I pay Spring Point taxes, and I say all that. And we pay these taxes. And our township does the best they can with what taxes we got. And they have been doing a decent job, but this is gonna be another tax. We don't get our roads oiled once every 5 years and stuff like that, or we call them to clean out a road ditch or anything like that. Well, we just don't have time, we don't have the money. And that's a tax. And then here's gonna be another tax that people can't see what it's gonna do them any good. It might do them good one time in their lifetime. And that's what I think everybody's opposing here.
That's the same thing with your fire department. You pay 22 cents on that, and land goes up, it goes up too, right?
Also, yeah.
So you got the exact same thing.
That's
Do
what
you ever
yours
use
is.
the fire department? Do you ever use the fire department?
One time, years ago. And I'm sure it wasn't 22 cents.
I never did use the fire department.
Yeah.
So that's just a part of life, people.
Yeah.
But you want that ambulance out there in that fire department because your community wants to be covered in case you have to serve.
I'm just saying, these farmers are gonna have to figure out, this assessment of this farm ground is gonna keep raising, and so is your ambulance tax if it gets put in.
Yeah, it will.
Thank you.
I don't like the idea that there's no truth in taxation. So straight up. Immediately.
I'm Lyman Shoemaker, a property owner in Spring Point Township. I just got a couple of questions, I guess. So each and every one of you, 6 board members have been elected, right? Okay, so you are listening to constituents, your constituents. Why are you fighting so hard against what the people, majority of the people want?
I can answer that.
Before let us vote on it. Why do a backdoor referendum? That's all I have, thank you.
I got to answer it, Linus. How many taxpayers are there in Cumberland County, Bill? Or in special service area number 5? 1,000?
Floyd, what did you say? I didn't understand.
How many voters are there in special service area number 5?
I do not know.
There's a lot more than this crowd right here. I
That is
guarantee you.
true.
Well, this meeting was publicized like a first.
Well,
This was kind of hush hush.
Yeah, we all got a letter in the mail for the first one. We didn't get nothing for this one.
no, that's true, I know.
What is the?
Whoa, on that, everybody that was here that night was notified when this meeting was going to be there.
It was tabled till the next board meeting.
I thought we set the date that night.
We set the date that night.
We set the date that night for
Set
this
the date
meeting was
that
going to
night.
take place.
Nobody else did.
Well, I understand that, but normally they don't do 2 meetings. That was actually a gift.
It wasn't normal, so you should have sent out letters, maybe bring more.
Just
people
saying.
in here.
You guys are the ones that were here. You guys should have spread the word yourselves then.
You're
I-
the
well,
worst
who-
here.
If we wanted it, couldn't they show up and say, hey, we really want this? Nobody, how many people are doing that?
Usually these meetings are opposition meetings, not proposing meetings.
Okay, yeah, okay, now just a minute. Linus, you got anything else to say?
Just though, I would like for you board members, each and every one of you, to answer that question.
I'll say that question again. Say it again.
What is your responsibility? What is your duty?
I'll tell you what my duty is. Decide of all the taxpayers in this area, would they be for it or would they be against it? In my personal opinion, the majority would be for a tax.
Without taking a vote, you don't know until you have a vote.
I talked to some of my neighbors and,
And then
some
you
of
other
them,
board members have it, and you answer.
I will tell you that one of the things that means something to me is making sure that we're safe in this county. And that would be ambulance, police, fire, in my opinion, on this. So I want to make sure that everybody has adequate protection from anything.
I'll take that back on the police protection. We get called out there, they switch it over that man, we get that man down, they don't even want to come out there. Too far.
That's a different discussion for just a different
Yeah, I
day.
know that's- yeah.
That's not good.
okay, Lawrence. Next person.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Mike Walk. I had your job many years ago, so I don't really envy you up there. Even though I think you're a little bit misguided on this proposal here. But my question for Mr. Baker was, how many calls does Neoga Ambulance make in Spring Point Township in a year's time?
Don't know, depends on the year, I don't keep track of that, honestly, don't know.
You don't know.
I don't keep track of that. I can tell you, we're gonna do about 800 calls this year. How many in Spring Point, I don't know, I honestly don't know.
But, well, I think we've got a hodgepodge ambulance service. And another thing, I'm wondering if Neoga's gonna serve our part of Spring Point. It's the fire district runs the ambulance, right? And you take in like Big Spring, part of it in Shelby County. And so then what's gonna happen? You're serving Sigel. Are they still gonna get a free ride after we get?
Nobody gets a free ride, man.
How's Sigel gonna get charged then?
They'll have a different rate than what you do.
You mean what you charge the,
Yes.
for a call?
You will be considered an in-district charge, which is much lower than anybody else.
And I still think it's a mess. I think it ought to be stopped at the county line, not have all these districts, three ambulance districts. I think it needs to be revamped. But anyway, I did do a little research on my taxes. And my house would raise $228 a year. And my farmland would be $1,320 more a year. And that doesn't include any livestock buildings, because that's in my son's name, so. And we've got a lot of, buildings, in Spring Point Township, a lot of livestock buildings. We're gonna get, Spring Point is gonna get hard on this deal. And, their cost for ambulance services probably going to be quite a bit more than the average person, say, in Neoga Township. So I just can't see this being a very fair, solution. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.
Okay, that's all. Anybody comment? So that'd be the end of the hearing, I suppose.
Well, hold on, I just want to make a clarification. You brought up Greenup Township, or Greenup ambulance a few times. And you talked about their tax rate being almost 0.4, right?
Yeah.
You left out that that was a valid referendum and that they voted on that just 2 years ago. I just want to make sure that that's clear, that everybody knows that they voted on 8.4, that it wasn't forced on them.
They voted on it and it actually passed.
Barely, if I remember right. I don't remember what the vote was, but it was very close to not passing.
What's it take to get us to vote instead of just shove it down our throat, What's it take to do that?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were in charge.
So is everybody, if you don't want this ambulance no more, is everybody okay if Neoga shuts us off and don't supply us?
It's fine with that.
No, I had a brother-in-law, who lives out in Bishop, had back problems, and he went to ER, and they sent him home, and then when he was at home, the next morning, he couldn't get up or nothing, and he called, ambulance out there again, and he wanted him to take him to Sarah Bush, and they wouldn't take him, because they had to take him to the closest facility, because, they was the only one on staff.
Don't you overdo that too, take close to the facility?
Okay, hold on. I've been a coordinator since 1994. We have always done it since 1994. Get the facts, don't make up lies here, okay?
Not making us lies.
I've always gone, look, I give a choice, Sarah Bush, stay in.
We
Okay?
asked for Sarah Bush and they says we can't get you there, you have to live.
No. Since I've been a
On the
coordinator.
right side of the ambulance guy.
No. Not the yoga. We didn't.
I know that out there.
Okay.
We accurately serve this area better.
With what now?
With this tax, is this area going to accurately serve better?
We don't know.
We will keep up.
That's a no. So,
Yeah.
It's not a no, it's a possibility, yes. There's always a possibility with more money, more
it's
better.
a 15-minute wait for an ambulance. Multiple times, multiple people in the area have had to wait an hour, 50 minutes.
Was Neoga ambulance in town or were they on another call? You're gonna be running the same thing with Effingham. Two ambulance out, you're screwed.
It's coming out of Toledo, and then when Toledo was backed up, it came out of Greenup. Greenup is 30 minutes from our house.
It depends on who's out though, is the bad part. It's just like Toledo Fire. Say we're out over by you guys and we get a fire right up here at the Burma. We could split guys, but it's gonna take a while to get up there.
This area serves itself. Something catches on fire, you're gonna expect to either put it out or it's a loss.
I had a lot of
Just same thing.
right back there. I was loading up the car for me myself. I knew this would be a wasted phone call.
It is.
It's a wasted phone call. I'm sorry, but it is.
You want to lay it on the ground for an hour.
It's faster to load yourself up and drive yourself. Been there, done that multiple times. One of our neighbor shot himself in the arm when he was rolling. After he dropped the gun, shot himself in the arm. They put a tourniquet on, drove him. The ambulance response time is too long.
We can't help.
The ambulance cannot accurately serve this area. That's why we oppose this tax.
What if we put an ambulance in Spring Point then?
I think the ambulance gets something good out of it, don't it?
What do you think, Alan? We split Neoga, put a Neoga ambulance there in Spring Point? We can get the funding for it. Try that.
Then we will get 4%.
Then you got a faster response time.
Anybody got questions? If it's custodian.
You got her.
Think?
My name is Jonathan Kay. I was on the county board a year or so ago. But before that, I've been involved in the central district politics of the ambulance company. Most of us in the central district would not like to have the Toledo ambulance servicing us.
That's a lie.
We took it to vote, and we had a non-binding referendum. 88% of the voters in the central district voted that they wanted the fire department to take it over. Only 12% backed the Toledo ambulance service. So it is not a popular company. Based on my studies, and I've been studying it for about 10 years now, it's a very dysfunctional organization. It's a closed organization. It has never had an audit. It is not keeping up with the times. The business model is based on a business model from 1982. Right? The technologies have changed, the laws have changed, the flexibility that we have is not being utilized, and there's so much more that we can do. We're just doing it the old school way, is raise the tax and make them do it. If you had these guys vote, and if you had the central district vote, which they did in a non-binding manner, we would not have that ambulance company. So it's only here because it's subsidized. We were looking for more subsidy. The reason we're looking for more subsidy is because there are people that aren't paying and aren't keeping up with their end of the deal. People in Spring Point, they're paying and taking care of their end of the deal. They're not a problem. You are putting the burden of the central district on the western district. This has got to stop. You have to stop funding the SSAs. You have to let the fire department take it over. All these meetings would go away. All these problems would go away. The central district fire department is smart enough, capable enough, and has a ton of money because they're taxing Jesus out of us too. So they would do a great job having it. And if we had that, I mean, the amount of ambulance coverage in this county is way larger than most counties. We are ambulance up. So we're very fortunate that way. So this is something that we don't need to be going over again and again and again. Stop funding the SSAs, let the fire departments take it out, and let's move on. That's all I have.
Real quick,
Yes,
it's
sir.
because the ambulance or the fire department doesn't want it right now.
I can't hear you,
The
sir.
fire department does not want the ambulance right now. That is a discussion with their.
Yes, I understand that. We've been to that meeting. So what? Stop funding the SSA. They'll step up and do their job. They can handle it. You're on it, right?
I'm just a fireman.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're on the fire department, so you can handle it. You're not a little wuss, right? You can step up and take over whatever you.
I don't have the classwork though that ambulances have.
That's all right.
Well, if fire department takes it over, your taxes will go a lot higher in court.
They're higher than they need to be right now.
Well, they are, but they will go a lot
I
higher.
don't know. You're just making this conjecture. You don't know.
Well, if the fire department can barely fund themselves
They
now,
can fund themselves now. They have plenty of money.
they do.
Yes, they do. Any other questions?
Well, one fire truck's over $1 million.
That's fine.
Jonathan, the Toledo Fire Department will not take this ambulance over for 3 years. I got talked to them just last week. They're not doing anything.
If you stop funding them, they have to by law. Stop
Well,
funding.
they have to take it over. It will be a total.
Only because they want it to fail. They are smarter than that. There are a lot of good people in it.
Who wants the ambulance to fail? Hang on. Who wants the ambulance?
Go talk to the Toledo Fire Department. Taxpayers, Toledo there should go to the fire department, tell them to take it over. That's what you do. Then Toledo Fire will come to the SSA and say, we want to take it over.
We've had this conversation for years. Stop funding the SSA and Toledo will take it over. End of story.
What if they don't take it over?
I'm sorry. I can't-
What if they don't take it over?
They have to by law.
I would
Toledo
like
Fire
to see- show me the statute of that one
They
soon,
don't have to
and
ignore
I'll
the
agree with it.
It's already right there.
Yeah.
It's already right there.
They don't have to take it over.
They're required to, but they're only required to care of minimum update correct. You guys quit funding the SSA, you're taking over, we're gonna do the bureau.
They wouldn't take it over, basically. They'd put a Band-Aid on you and tell you that. Pat, you're back to the- Huh?
If he he say they would take it over?
And I just told you what was gonna happen.
They won't get it.
Maybe, you gotta-
No, that's what their board has said. I'd be happy for them to take, I would be happy for them to take it, but your taxes are gonna go up. They're gonna have a separate line because the ambulance can't siphon off of the fire district. It has to have its own part of it.
Fire
So they
department
have
can't
to
take
have
out
their
an
own
ambulance,
taxing
but an
body.
ambulance can take out of a fire
So-
department. So more or less, ambulances drain us dry. So therefore, the taxes will still go up.
So if they call it the fire department, it's gonna come out of my roads, it don't come out of Toledo.
It depends on the location to get you the fastest response time. And but the one thing too
I don't
is,
wanna pay a tax to Toledo if they come in.
who covers, what ambulance covers Sigel? Neoga. Every time they go out with them. They have to also watch them. I have been carried in a Toledo ambulance during a fire call due to heat stroke. So each time fire department goes out, an ambulance goes with them.
Do they take ambulance come to our house? No.
They're supposed to, each
Just the
time.
fire department came, there's an explosion in the woods, and fire department out of Montrose took care of it.
That's
That's it.
who's covering Montrose.
All right, Todd.
Like I think Rex said, or somebody said earlier, would you guys just please put it up for a ballot vote?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
And then one way we know how people react, if they're for it or not, it won't be your own opinion, it'll be facts.
Okay, that's, basically the end of the meeting.
51%.
So what happens from here? Does it, I mean, do we have to give the?
I would say if you're opposed, you have to put the petitions out.
We ain't gonna vote on nothing then. Yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned, I guess, or do we adjourn the meeting? Need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I heard something down there, so somebody made the motion, somebody seconded it.
Michael.
Well, are you counting it for it? Close the meeting. Yes.
Like.
Late.
No.
Yeah.